Hello guys, how are you doing? Yes, this is your Dr. Vantari Shiva. In this video, we are going to discuss about the previous year NEET questions, which is from kinematics, and especially we are going to discuss about motion in a straight line, and this is the part one of this chapter. Okay, now let us get started with it. First and foremost concept that we are going to discuss here is average velocity and average speed. So there is a particle covers half of its total distance with speed v1 and the rest half distance with speed v2. Its average speed during the complete cycle or complete journey is, let us say, the total distance is say d. Okay, yes. So first half of the distance, let us say d by 2 is the distance, and that has been covered with velocity v1, and next half d by 2, and that has been covered with velocity v2. Now its average speed during the complete journey is, so basically, what is the formula for average speed? Average speed is nothing but total distance traveled by total time taken, isn't it? Total time taken. Very good. So this is the only formula for upcoming 8 questions we'll be using. So yes. So what about total distance traveled here? That is d. What about total time taken? Let me say the time taken for the first half of the distance is t1, and second half of the distance is say t2. Generally time is nothing but distance divided by speed, isn't it? Now what is the distance here? d by 2. Let us consider for the first half of the distance, say t1 is the time, so d by 2 divided by speed is v1. Shall I write it as d by 2 v1? Yes, t2 is nothing but d by 2 is the distance and the speed is v2, isn't it? That has been given here. Next, if I write it as d by 2 v2, then I'll get let me substitute all these things here. What is the total distance traveled? D divided by what is the total time taken? That is t1 plus t2. All right. Yes. So d by, what is t1 here? D by 2v1. Very good. What is t2? D by 2v2. If I take d by 2 common in the from the denominator, I'll get 1 by v1 plus 1 by v2. If I take the LCM of it, I'll get v1 v2 as the LCM, and then v2 here and v1 here. Okay, this d and that d gets cancelled. Now average speed, v average is nothing but if I take this 2 v1 v2 to the numerator, then I'll get 2 v1 v2 by v1 plus v2. That is the average speed. What is the correct answer here? Yes, this is the one. Now next question. So a car moves from x to y. Let us say x is this point and y is this location now. Okay, with a uniform velocity. So what is the velocity? vu, let us say. Next, and it returns to x again. So it has gone to y from x, again reaching x again from y. Okay, with what is the velocity now? So this is the velocity when you are moving from x to y. When you are traveling in the opposite direction from y to x, then the velocity is say vd. All right. Now the average speed for this round trip is, so again the average speed formula, total distance traveled by total time taken. Now v average is nothing but, what is the total distance traveled? Let us consider the distance between x and y is say d. So now you are covering two times this distance, isn't it? X to y and then y to x again. So d plus d, 2d divided by how much time? What will be the total time taken? That is initially the time is nothing but distance divided by speed, vu, plus second, from y to x also the distance is d only, and velocity is or speed is nothing but vd. Okay, so now if I take d common, it is 2d. If I take d common here, I'll get vu vd plus vd plus vu. Got it? Next, so v average is nothing but 2 vu vd divided by vu plus vd, the same thing as previous question, isn't it? So what is the correct answer here? Option D, isn't it? Yes. Now Third question. A car runs at a speed on a circular track of radius 100 meter. Okay, so there is a circular track of radius 100 meters, for example. Okay, now it is taking 62.8 seconds. Let us say, can I say that as time period? 62.8 seconds for every circular lap. Okay, so we can call it as a time period for a complete circular motion. Now the average velocity and average speed for each circular lap is respectively. Okay, so V average, average velocity is nothing but generally we need to find I'm talking about speed. Okay, average speed first of all. Okay, that is nothing but total distance traveled by total time taken. What is the total time here? Total distance here, that is 2 pi r, 2 pi r divided by the total time taken, let us say t. So here pi value is nothing but 3.14, and what is the r here? 100 meters. Very good. And what about time period? Time it has taken to complete one revolution or one complete circular lap, that is 62.8. So 3.14, 20s are 62.8. Okay, so now 21s are 25s are. Okay, next 2 5s are 10 meter per second. He's asking average speed and average velocity. What about average velocity? Average velocity. So in a complete circular lap, it is when the guy is coming starting from the same location and ending at the same location. Therefore, displacement will become 0. So since total displacement is 0, then you can say average velocity will also be 0. So average velocity is 0 and average speed is 10. Option C should be the correct answer. Yes. Now let us take fourth question. A car moves a distance of 200 meters. It covers the first half of the distance at 40 km per hour. I mean, it is same as the first two previous problems, isn't it? So what is the distance here? 200 meters. So it covers first half of the distance at 40 km per hour. Let us say P1 is 40 km per hour, and the second half at a speed of v. What is the average speed has been given? What is the average speed? V average is equal to 48 km per hour. Very good. Now if you just take this and apply the formula, V average speed is nothing but 2v1 v2 by v1 plus v2. V average is what? 48. What is what is v1? 40. v2 v divided by 40 plus v. Okay, so 12, 4 12s are and 4 10s are. Okay, next 6 2 6 are, 2 5s are. Okay, next let me take this to other side. 4 6 are 24, 240 plus 6v is equal to 2 5s are 10 v. Okay, 10 minus 6 is what? 4v. 4v is equal to 240. 4 6 are 240, no, sorry, 240. 4 60s are 240. So velocity v is equal to 60 km per hour. This has to be the velocity of second half of the distance. Okay, so option B should be the correct answer here, isn't it? Easy or not? Yes. So a bus traveling the first 1/3 distance at a speed 10 km per hour, and next 1/3 at 20 km per hour, and last 1/3 at 60 km per hour. Now let us take what is asking for? Average speed. A V average is nothing but total distance traveled by total time taken. So total distance is again, let us say, D divided by first half of the distance. I mean first third, 1/3 of the distance is traveled with velocity 10. Next second 1/3 is with 20 km per hour, and yes, and last 1/3 is traveled with 60 km per hour, isn't it? Now if I take d by 3 common, in fact d by 30 if I take common, I'll get 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 6. So now this d and that d gets cancelled. You get 1 by 1 by 30 into LCM is 6. So 6 here, 3 here, and 1 here, isn't it? So 63s are, so 6 plus 3 plus 1, 6 plus 4, 10. So basically you'll get 30 into 6 divided by 10, isn't it? 6 plus 3 plus 1, 10. 10 ones are, 10 threes are. So 6 threes are 18 kilometer per hour. That is going to be the average speed. Clear? Next, a car covers first half of the distance between two places, 40 km per hour, and another half at 60 km per hour. Then what is the average speed? So we have done this problem already. So that will be 48 km per hour, isn't it? So we have not done the same problem, but similar problem where you have got V1 and V2 as 40 and 60. The average was given 48 km per hour. The same question was given in the different manner. Okay. Next, if you consider those are about average speed and average velocity problems. Now let us discuss about instantaneous velocity and speed problems. Two cars P and Q start from a point at the same time in a straight line, and their positions are represented by xp of t is this, xq of t is this. Okay, at what time do the cars have the same velocity? Now you just need to find out velocity of this guy, that is let us say Vp, and velocity of the car P is nothing but dxp by dt, isn't it? So just let me differentiate this guy, then I'll get a differentiation of t is 1, next b differentiation of t is 2t. Okay, what about velocity of car Q? That is dxq of t by dt. And now if I differentiate this guy, ft minus t square, f is a constant and t differentiation is 1 and t square differentiation is 2t, isn't it? Now he is saying that at what time both of them will be having the same velocity. Same velocity means what? You can equate both of them. Vp is equal to Vq. Then I can write it as a plus 2bt is equal to f minus 2t. Understand? Now let me take all the t terms to one side and remaining everything else to the other side. 2b plus 2 into t is equal to f minus a. If I take 2 common, b plus 1 into t is equal to f minus a. So what about time t here? F minus a by 2 into b plus 1 or 1 plus b. Which option is correct? Option D. Isn't it easy, ma? Yes. Now, if the velocity of a particle v is equal to at plus bt square, where a and b are constants, then the distance traveled by it between 1 second and 2 second is. So very easy question. So basically he has given velocity and he is asking about distance, isn't it? So basically v is equal to ds by dt, that you know. From this I would like to apply this variable and separable method. ds is equal to v dt. Integrate on both sides. You will get what is v here? V is nothing but at plus bt square into dt. Now integral ds is nothing but s. Now limits are from 0 to s. Let us say s is the answer on the left hand side. Right hand side, if you see a t integration is t square by 2 plus b t square integration is t cube by 3. Limits are from 1 second to 2 seconds. Okay, if you substitute upper limit, you will get a into 2 square by 2 is nothing but 2 plus b into 2 cube, that means 8 b by 3 is nothing. When you are substituting this upper limit, you will get this value minus substitute this lower limit in the place of t, then you get a by 2 plus b by 3. So 2a minus a by 2 is nothing but 3a by 2. Alright, next 8b by 3 minus b by 3 is nothing but 7b by 3, isn't it? So which option is correct here? Option A. Clear now, ma? Yes. So the displacement x of a particle of mass m moving in one dimension under the action of a force is related to time t in seconds by t is equal to under root of x plus 3. Now the displacement of the particle when its velocity is 0. Okay, so you need to find displacement of the particle when velocity is equal to 0. For that, what you need to do? you need to find velocity and equal to 0. Then you need to find out the displacement. Okay, very easy question. So for that, let me take this 3 to this side. Then I'll get root x is equal to t minus 3. Got it? So x is equal to t minus 3 whole square. This is the expression for your x. Clear? Next. So now if I differentiate with respect to time on both sides, I'll get dx by dt. That is your velocity. Okay. Now differentiation of this is nothing but it's like x square. X square differentiation 2x. Now if you differentiate this guy t minus 3, you'll get 1. That's it, no? So 2 into t minus 3. And now what did he say? You have to equate it to 0, so that at that time you need to find the displacement. So from this I can say t minus 3 is equal to 0, t is equal to 3 seconds. So just take this and substitute it here. Then you get x is equal to 3 minus 3 whole square, 0. Okay, so 0 is the correct answer. Clear? Yes. Now a particle shows distance time curve as given in the figure. Okay, the maximum instantaneous velocity of the particle is around the point. So maximum instantaneous velocity means the slope has to be maximum at a certain point, isn't it? So that point is nothing but at A and D. Obviously it's not definitely correct answer, because the slope is actually getting almost at D it is getting saturated, and at A is it is just starting, and B is also it is just ramping it up, but at C it is actually really high. Okay, so C is the correct point where maximum instantaneous velocity can be observed. So option D is correct. Option D and point C. Okay, next. So the position of a particle with respect to time has been given. X is equal to 90 square minus t cube. Now what will be the position of this particle when it achieves maximum speed along the positive x direction? So basically maximum speed means what? Acceleration is 0, or you can say dv by dt should be, maximum of any quantity is nothing but the first order differentiation should become 0 there. Okay, so x is given. X is what? 90 square minus t cube. If you differentiate this, you will get velocity. Velocity is equal to 9 into t square. Differentiation is what, ma? Yes, 18 has a 2t. 9 into 2, 18 minus 3t square. If you differentiate this once again for dv by dt, or you can say acceleration, so then you get 18, t differentiation is 1, and 3 into 2 t square differentiation 2t, 3 2s are 6t is equal to 0, 18 is equal to 60, so t is equal to 3 seconds. That's the time. Now at time t is equal to 3 seconds, you need to find the position of the particle. So just take this and substitute x at t is equal to 3 seconds. And what will be the answer? 9 into 3 square. It means 9 into 9 only. Minus t cube. T cube means 3 cube. 27. 9 9s are 81. 81 minus 27 is nothing but 54 meters. Option A is correct. Clear? Next. A particle moves along a straight line OX at a time t. At a time t, the distance x in meters of the particle from O is given by x is equal to 40 plus 12t minus 30 cube. How long would the particle travel before coming to rest? Okay, so now you need to find when the particle, how long it will travel, how much distance it will travel. That's the question, isn't it? Now let me take x is equal to 40 plus 12t minus t cube, isn't it? So just take that, and you need to find how long before coming to rest means at rest means velocity should become 0. Let us find out velocity, that is dx by dt, and now that is nothing but 40 differentiation is 0, 12t differentiation 12 minus t cube differentiation 3t square, and that is equal to 0. So if I take 12t should be is equal to 3t square, 3 1s are 3 4s are, so t square is equal to 4. That means t can be either plus or minus 2 seconds, but time can never be negative, so t is equal to 2 seconds. Okay, so that is your time. Now what about he's asking for displacement distance, how long it will travel. So that is ds is equal to v dt, or you can say dx is equal to v dt. So here if you integrate on both sides, you get x in this side, and on the other side you will get 40. What about velocity here? Velocity is 12 minus 3t square integral dt. Okay, what about the limits? He is asking. When the velocity initially at time t is equal to 0, velocity should be 0, and at time t is equal to seconds, it's again coming to rest. 0 to 2 should be the time limits, and 12 integration of dt. Integral dt is nothing but t. Okay, minus 3t square. 3t square means 3t cube by 3. So if you cancel this 3 and that 3, you get 0 to 2. So 12t, that is nothing but 12 into 2 minus t cube, that means 8. 12 2s are 24 minus 8, so that is nothing but 16 meters. That is correct answer. Clear? Yes. Now the displacement x of a particle varies with time t. Okay, like this. Now you need to find which of the following will be correct for the velocity of the particle. So fine, x is given, you need to find velocity. Velocity is nothing but dx by dt. Just differentiate this guy. A is a constant. E power minus alpha t, integration is same thing, but you have to differentiate this minus alpha t. Then if you differentiate that, you will get minus alpha extra, plus b is constant, e power beta t. Differentiation is e power beta t itself. Next, if you differentiate this beta t, you will get beta extra. Now, shall I write this as a minus alpha a e power minus alpha t plus beta b e power beta t. Now let us try to check which option will be matching here. Now he is saying that the velocity of the particle will be independent of beta. So I mean, velocity should not be having beta terms at all. But here velocity is having beta terms. So this is wrong. Now if you take when alpha is equal to beta, then velocity drop to 0. Just check it. Many of us actually, out of curiosity, will try to take alpha is equal to beta. Then you'll get let us say if you're writing this minus beta a e power minus beta t, but actually a and b are not same, na? Definitely it will not become 0. Okay, now the velocity will keep on go on decreasing with time. So if you just start increasing the time, so this term will definitely, when your time is increasing, definitely this exponential growth, definitely it will increase. What about this e power minus alpha t will be definitely coming down, exponential decay, but minus is there, so definitely it's going to, as a whole the value will be increasing. So what does that mean? Velocity should be keep on increasing, but he is saying decreasing. It is wrong answer. The last option, which is nothing but increasing with time, so this is correct answer. Clear? Yes. Now the displacement time graph has been given. Now the instantaneous velocity of the particle is negative at that point. At what point the velocity will be, instantaneous velocity will be negative? At point D it will be 0. At point C it will be making an acute angle. Okay, acute angle means the velocity should be positive. So here if you take the slope, then with x-axis it will make obtuse angle. That means at this case you are going to have, at this point you are going to have velocity negative. You can say slope is negative, and here slope is positive, isn't it? Acute angle. So only at point E you are having obtuse angle. When you have obtuse angle, definitely you are going to have negative slope. You can say negative velocity. Okay. Yes. So this one is correct answer. Next, which of the following curves do not represent motion in one dimension? So does not represent. Okay, fine. See, basically here if you see, velocity can increase, can decrease, no problem, and velocity keep on increase like this, also no issues. Velocity can oscillate, maybe up and down, maybe having positive velocity, negative velocity. But if you see this, at any given time, most of at different times, you are having two different velocities. Is it possible? No. Like can you travel with 100 km per hour and 50 km per hour at the same time? No. That is why it is not possible, and this is the correct answer. Got it? Next, a particle of unit mass undergoes 1D motion such that its velocity varies according to this equation. Now where beta and n are constants and x is the position of the particle. The acceleration of the particle as a function of x is given by, you need to find acceleration, that's it, no? So here, if acceleration is a function of time, then you can use this equation. But when, please remember, when acceleration is when velocity is a function of x displacement, then you cannot use this equation. You have to use a is equal to x dv by dx. Okay, let us first find out what is dv by dx for this equation. That is, the beta is as it is, and x power minus 2n integration is nothing but minus 2n x power minus 2n minus 1. Okay, now that is your dv by dx. If you substitute this one here, then you will get, what is x here? Beta x power minus 2n. And what is dv by dx? That is nothing but beta minus 2n x power minus 2n minus 1. Okay, so beta square x power, of course let me write minus 2n also outside, minus 2 beta square n x power minus 2n minus 2n minus 4n minus 1. Which option is correct now? Option D. Clear? Next, the motion of a particle along a straight line is described by this equation where x is in meter, t is in second. Okay, fine. The retardation of the particle when its velocity becomes 0. You need to find acceleration. Retardation is nothing but opposite sense of acceleration. That's it now. X is this. What about velocity for that? That is 8 differentiation is 0 and 12 t differentiation is 1 minus t cube differentiation is 3t square. Okay, 12 minus 3t square, that is your velocity. Now you have to equate it to 0. He is saying that when velocity becomes 0, what is the retardation? From this I can take 12 is equal to 3t square, 3 ones are 3 4s are, so t square is equal to 4. T can be plus or minus 2 seconds, so minus 2 seconds is not possible, so plus 2 seconds is only the possibility. Now let us find out acceleration. Acceleration is equal to dv by dt. So 12 differentiation 0 minus 3 into differentiation of t square 2t. So can I say that is 60? So acceleration is equal to minus 60. At a time t is equal to 2 seconds, if you substitute a is equal to, you get minus 6 to the 12 meter per second square. Which option is correct here? 12 meter per second square. What is this minus representing? Retardation. Next, a particle moves in a particle moves a distance x in time t according to the equation, this one. Okay, now the acceleration of the particle is, so if you consider x is this much, t plus 5 whole power minus 1. Very good. Now what about velocity? Dx by dt, that is your velocity. Then you get x power n differentiation formula minus 1 minus n x power n minus 1. What is x here? T power t plus 5. Okay, minus 1 minus 1, I can say minus 2. Okay, now if I find out, he's asking about acceleration, no? So what about acceleration? Acceleration, if you take minus 1 here, differentiation of t plus 5 whole power minus 2 is nothing but minus 2 some x whole power minus 2 minus 1 minus 3, no? It's nothing but a is equal to minus 1 into minus 2 is nothing but 2 t plus 5 whole power minus 3. This is the acceleration. But he is not asking about this. He is asking about dependence of acceleration on velocity and distance. Okay. Now let us look at the distance. Distance is nothing but t plus 5 whole power minus 1. Na? A is equal to 2 into 2 plus 5 t plus 5 whole power minus 1 whole cube. This is nothing but x, no? T plus 5 whole power minus 1 is nothing but displacement or distance, 2 into x cube. So here one thing clearly is saying that a should be equal to is directly proportional to distance whole cube. Is it possible? So distance, two options are there, none of them are having this. Now you need to check about velocity now. Okay, so for velocity, if you just take this the same equation, a is equal to 2 into t plus 5 whole power minus 2 whole power 3 by 2. If you multiply with, what I have taken here, I have rewritten this equation in terms of this. 2 and 2 gets cancelled, you get t plus 5 whole power minus 3. So 2 into, what is velocity here? Velocity is nothing but some minus. Anyway, all that will be going into the proportionality constant. So t plus 5 whole power minus 2 is nothing but velocity whole power 3 by 2. Which option is correct now? Option A.